From the second that I did Piers Morgan, they've been trying to convince people that I had something to do with these girls. Because when I was on Piers Morgan, I said I had 3 victims that were ready to come forward. The problem is, I didn't say I had Diddy victims. I said I have 3 victims against the Carters. That's not Diddy.
Rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he the 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was by both men at a Video Music Awards after party in 2000.
You should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did run your life.
A 38-year-old mother from Alabama who has filed a lawsuit accusing Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z of her when she was 13 years old is speaking out to NBC News
For those who were never at these freak-off parties, what were they like?
See, this is the thing. Everything that I'm about to say to you is not my first-hand knowledge. It is my first-hand witness account experience.
As fans were shocked by a new accusation that Jay-Z was linked with Diddy in a lawsuit, the controversy around him grew. Alongside his longtime pal Diddy, who is already facing numerous accusations, Jay-Z has gained notoriety due to the lawsuit, which revolves around extremely concerning claims. This firestorm started when Jaguar Wright, who is known for her candid criticism of the music business, removed the gloves during an unedited appearance on Piers Morgan in what was dubbed one of her most fiery interviews to date. Wright didn't mince words when she called Jay-Z and Beyoncé monsters, but here's the twist. The interview started to gather popularity. It turns out that Jay-Z and Beyoncé's powerhouse legal team intervened after clips inexplicably vanished from the internet, allegedly submitting complaints against the program to have the interview changed or deleted completely.
Potentially, do you think there could be?
Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well. They're a nasty little couple. They do nasty things.
What do you think happened with Kim
Keeping people against their will. Putting people on planes while they're unconscious, just like Aaliyah got on that plane. Unconscious. There's a lot of things that people don't want to talk about.
The allegations leveled at Sean Diddy Combs have burst the floodgates on salacious claims about an industry many people believe harbored a monster. Understandably, the internet's ablaze with claims about these events and whether other powerful figures were involved too. Well, last week I interviewed Jaguar Wright, a singer-songwriter who's made claims about Diddy for years. Those claims had already received a lot of attention in the media across many platforms for many years. And that's the thing about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. That's why we invited her on to be interviewed. The people making these claims have an audience with or without shows like mine. Well, Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyoncé during that interview. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves. But now they have. Their lawyers contacted us to say that those claims were totally false and have no basis in fact, and we've therefore complied with the legal request to cut them from the original interview. Editing interviews is not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. But, like the proverbial cries of fire in a crowded theatre, there are legal limits on us too. And we apologise to Jay-Z and Beyoncé.
After it was pulled from air and Morgan had this tail between his legs, their lawyer Alex Spiro labeled the claim as clearly false. There's rumors and then there's nonsense. And this is one step further, he told TMZ. This is a pointed and formal accusation of something. I felt it needed to be responded to. I think somebody reported it was a cease and desist. It wasn't that. It was quite bluntly an ultimatum, which is to remove that false accusation that's demonstrably false, or a court is gonna order you to. So I think he made the wise choice and acted accordingly. Some people agreed with their legal team that you couldn't just make claims like this without any consequence. But there were some who felt that this made Jay-Z and Beyoncé look way more guilty than they would otherwise, and maybe the damage had been done. Where there's smoke, there's fire. It's too late to edit it out. The internet lives forever. And I mean, they're right. Once you put something onto social media, it takes on a new life of its own. And these days, there's a lot of people who are wondering now if Jay-Z and Beyonce weren't just in cahoots with Puff, but were just as bad as the diddler himself. Because even after the threats of legal action from Jay and Bey's legal team, Jaguar continued to argue that if Diddy was brought to justice, they would be too.
That's always been my focus. They're one and the same. Tell me something. When you have a peanut butter jelly sandwich, if it's just peanut butter, it's just peanut butter. If it's just jelly, it's jelly. When you put it together, it becomes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and the taste is undeniable.
You're saying Diddy and Jay-Z is peanut butter jelly?
Peanut butter and jelly. Let's deal with the sandwich.
As opposed to jumping on the bandwagon, it should be noted that this is definitely the first time that she leveled these claims at Hov and Co. Instead, Jaguar, who sang backing vocals on Jay-Z's Unplugged album, has been claiming that Hov her and others for years.
Sean Carter is just as bad as the diddler, and I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it. You want to know what a box cutter feels like going into your skin and ripping you? I can tell you how it feels. Y'all ain't seen shit. That Cassie shit, that's nothing.
Are you trying to say like Jay-Z put hands on you?
So I'm saying Sean Carter remembers everything he did to me, and he's got it on tape. Just like Diddy. It's gonna be the women that get him in.
A few months later, we discovered that Jaguar was correct when a shocking lawsuit surfaced in the music industry, this time involving Jay-Z Diddy and a chilling tale of a 13-year-old girl who merely wanted to go to the VMAs roughly 20 years ago and now alleges that she was tricked into a nightmare by two of the most influential people in the business.
We've got some breaking news to get to. A civil lawsuit has been filed against Jay-Z, saying the rapper a 13-year-old girl back in 2000. The suit alleges that Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, the girl after the Video Music Awards alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The victim says she was invited to an after party after being spotted by a limo driver and was then by both rappers. Jay-Z is calling this a blackmail attempt. He released a statement on social media responding to the lawsuit, and Texas attorney behind the legal action saying in part, these allegations are so heinous in nature, you have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I look forward to showing you just how different I am.
This 13-year-old, I guess, lied to her parents about where she was at this night, and she wanted to be at the VMAs. So she rolls over to the Radio City Music Hall. This is in New York City, where the VMAs was being hosted, and she's like trying to get into the VMAs, She can't get in. She's going up to limo drivers and trying to shoot her shot, which at 13 years old, what the hell are you doing at the VMAs? I guess it was a different time. She ends up talking to a limo driver, discussing her plan, what she's trying to do. And apparently this driver was like, hey, you know, Diddy likes young girls, I'm paraphrasing here, and you're exactly perfect for the job here. And that's how she ends up getting exactly what she's wanted here. She goes to this after party hosted by P. Diddy, and she's there with Sean Diddy Combs, Sean Carter, who we know as Jay-Z, and Celebrity B, which is this female celebrity.
What made you want to come forward and talk today?
Because I think that I've been quiet long enough about what I've been through, and it's been hard enough to be quiet. But it's a chapter of my life that I'd like to close.
An NBC News review of her account found inconsistencies with her allegations. She says that she went to the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000 to catch a glimpse of her favorite celebrities.
You weren't scared to be all alone?
No, with having autism is like feeling like you live your life in a shatterproof juggle ball. The world's on fire. The fire is inside the ball with you, but there's no way for you to get out.
In addition to having autism, the woman says she suffered a head injury. The night of the 2000s VMAs, she says a friend drove her from Rochester, New York to Manhattan, a more than 5-hour drive. Her attorney provided NBC News with the name of the friend who has since died. The woman says she spoke to Combs' limo driver, who offered her a ride to an after party.
I stumbled upon Diddy's driver, who told me that I was exactly what Diddy was looking for.
What did you think when he said that to you?
I thought it meant that I was just pretty.
She went to a White House, she says, where she spoke to musicians Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo because, I have about his tattoo that's the Last Supper because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative of the Maddens confirmed that they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at the time. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter took turns her while a female celebrity watched.
JC comes in and me. He at that point I was fighting, trying to get away from him, and he put his hand over my mouth and told me to stop it, cut the.
After the alleged, she says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up and drove her home.
We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. Quote, "I felt like I would remember that, and I don't. I have a lot going on, but that's something that would definitely stick in my mind," he said. When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said that she stands by her statements. "I have made some mistakes," she said. "Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me." The inconsistencies in her account of an incident alleged to have happened 24 years ago does not necessarily mean the allegation.
Following shocking claims that Jay-Z was involved in an unsettling litigation involving Diddy Jag with her trademark passion, Jaguar Wright returned to the spotlight and announced on her platform that she has been telling everyone for years that Shan Carter was never innocent.
Brought you on to speak on Diddy, and it seemed as if your focus turned to Jay-Z, his wife.
That's always been my focus.
Yes. What?
They're one and the same. Tell me something. When you have a peanut butter jelly sandwich, if it's just peanut butter, it's just peanut butter. If it's just jelly, it's jelly. When you put it together, it becomes a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and the taste is undeniable.
You're saying Diddy and Jay-Z is peanut butter
Peanut
jelly
butter and jelly. Let's deal with the sandwich.
We asked you this last time, and Piers Morgan said it. They're not here to defend themselves. Do you think the Carters will speak about any of this at all? Do you just feel that they'll make any statement about what's going on?
Beyonce is losing hundreds of thousands, millions of followers every day, and she still hasn't said anything. Just pretending like life is great in Paris.
Is it her place to say so?
I mean, probably not, considering she's gonna be indicted for anything she would say. These are criminals. Diddy is a drug dealer, and so is Jay-Z. The proof is there. How many people does he have to be around before people see him for who he is?
It seems like these artists are trying to run away from their past. Diddy changed his name multiple times to say, that's not me, I'm trying to move beyond Diddy, I'm Love now. It seems like Jay-Z would try to run away from his past.
Calling that love and anything that he did love. Brother love. What kind of love? Baby oil love? Baby love? Baby love, explicit love, hey! They never thought that hip hop would take it this far.
Oh man, it's different now.
These lyrics are all hitting different right now. All the people talking about fathers, all kinds of stuff.
Jaguar, you told us also. How are you feeling today?
Like Bill Murray in that movie Groundhog's Day.
Oh, yep. You're just
Yeah.
you know, this is not surprising to you.
At all.
It's wild. I asked you this earlier. You're not enjoying this because this is a tough day because You know, look, and I have to say I don't know the truth. But Jaguar has been warning us about Jay-Z. Jay-Z has now had an official lawsuit. It's everywhere. It's now being talked about louder than ever. I guess, does that give you some peace to know that people are finally really questioning this man?
It's emboldening me. I spoke on Pierce Morgan. I said that I had 3 victims that I've been working with, victims of the Carters, that were ready to come forward. This might help them feel a little more confident now. So this is great because he's been evading. But the thing is, everyone in the backdrop knew that he was the celebrity John Doe. Everybody knew that. They knew it when I did Pierce Morgan.
Is Beyonce Celebrity B?
I hope to God not. But she was around. And she's she's got enough on her plate. After everything that happened with the election and everything that's happening right now, I'm not going to dump on that woman. She got better fish to fry. Alex Spiro committed tortious interference when he called and demanded that apology. Because clearly, I was not exaggerating about Mr. and Mrs. Carter. But you allowed them to silently defame my character without asking them to prove it. If you're going to call someone a liar, call out the lie. He could just said, he could have called and said, this woman has done this to us or done that to us, or we've done this for this woman and that for this woman, and we don't understand why and this is the evidence of why this is ridiculous. There was none such process that happened. I was just discredited, and they were Jay-Z and Beyonce, and I'm sorry. It would be sad if I had to sue somebody to get made whole for everything that I lost this fall. Because Pierce was so...
The outspoken singer has boldly rekindled the conversation by releasing the unedited portion of her renowned Piers Morgan uncensored interview on her own channel in response to the growing accusations against Jay-Z.
I'm going to tell you right now that me, as a woman who has been in the industry for over 30 years, I've been performing live since I was 13. My first handler was McKinley Horton. I come to find out 25 years later that a scar that was on his face with a very elaborate story he gave me was put there by a woman who to live through these things and hear your elders in the business, people like Patti LaBelle say, just avoid him, honey. And being taught to be a just avoid him, honey. It's not good enough. Not when you live through these things, you're still suffering the PTSD created by all of this, and you're talking to a victim that's 20 years younger than you, and she's telling you the exact same thing that happened to you. You want to know why there's no vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere. Forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching through. our culture and our society for decades. It must stop.
There's been obviously a lot.
Cruelty-free artistry.
Right, there's been a lot of rumor mill about what has happened in the rap world. A lot of allegations that the misogyny in the lyrics clearly was based on a general misogyny towards women away from the music. And that clearly seems to be borne out by these charges against Diddy, which if he's found guilty of all this, he's never coming out of prison. How dangerous do you think?
Thank God.
How dangerous do you think he is as a person?
I think he's one.
As the controversy around Jay-Z's concerning accusations intensifies, the rapper Mogul has finally spoken out, denying any role in the alleged lawsuit linking him to Diddy in a startling case involving a 13-year-old victim.
These are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the project of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. I look forward to showing you just how different
trial on federal charges, including trafficking.
For Jay-Z, this presents a very difficult situation because unlike Sean Combs, Jay-Z doesn't have the opportunity to say that he's being charged criminally and that this civil case should be paused. Instead, this case could go forward and he would have to sit for depositions, argue, defend, show where his whereabouts were, and the light of day could be very damaging to him both in the court of law and the court of public opinion.
Jay-Z has been famously married to Beyonce for 16 years. They have 3 children together. Today, Jay-Z denying all allegations, saying in part, "My only heartbreak is for my family," adding, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case." His attorneys quickly taking his rebuttal to court, filing a motion to deny the accuser's request to remain anonymous or dismiss the lawsuit, calling it a cynical and calculated campaign to force payment of an exorbitant sum of money.
There are a number of reasons as to why a defendant would ask that a plaintiff be named in a civil lawsuit such as this. They may simply say that getting the name and the time and place of when something occurred would better allow them to prepare for a defense. The other, probably less benign reason is oftentimes when someone is accused of a crime like this, the accuser doesn't want to be named, and if they are forced to be named, we have seen certain people decide to drop the lawsuit altogether. So it could be a tactic to try to get the lawsuit dropped.
The wall of silence has now been broken, and victims are coming forward.
This recent revelation stems from one of at least 7 civil lawsuits against Sean Combs filed in October by attorney Tony Busby, all of which allege Combs dozens of victims for over 2 decades.
What shocked me most was that it was going on openly in front of other people.
Jay-Z responded with a statement on X calling the allegations idiotic and an attempt at blackmail by a prominent Houston attorney that we all know, Tony Busby, who represents that Jane Doe in the lawsuit today. He filed a motion, that being Jay-Z, to dismiss the lawsuit. Busby also released a statement last night saying he sent a demand letter in an attempt to settle this case, and his client in the so-called blackmail attempt didn't talk about money in that demand letter. He also requested that the accuser identify herself publicly, that being from Jay-Z.
In a rare move, Jay-Z is not only rejecting the explosive charges, but also taking aim at the accuser's prominent lawyer, Tony Busby. The rapper has called out Busby personally, accusing him of participating in what he calls a publicity hoax to damage his name. Tell us in the comments whether you believe Jay-Z will end up in the same situation as P. Diddy. Whether you're here for the drama, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting music industry news. Family, please keep it locked until the next time.